Welcome to another Wichita Toy Train Club Lionel product review. I'm Zach Rapp. Behind the camera we have Chris, and today we're going to take a look at the new American Flyer FlyerChief Great Northern GP-7 number 601. Before we take a closer look at Lionel's rendition of the EMD GP-7, a little bit of history. The EMD GP-7 is a 4-axle diesel-electric locomotive built by General Motor Electromotive Division and General Motor Diesel between October 1949 and May 1954. Power was provided by an EMD 567B 16-cylinder engine, which generated about 1,500 horsepower. The GP-7 was the first EMD road locomotive to use a hood unit design instead of a car body design. This proved to be more efficient than the car body design, as the hood unit cost less to build, was cheaper and easier to maintain, and had much better front and rear visibility for switching. Some of the basic features that Lionel has carried on into this model include their FlyerChief control, which allows it to be ran with either the FlyerChief remote that comes with the locomotive. It's also equipped with Bluetooth, so it can be ran with Lionel's app on any Apple or Android device. It can also be ran conventionally, which is a transformer and some track, via the toggle switch on the bottom of the locomotive. The engine also features just one single motor on the front truck, traction tires, LED lighting, and it is directional lighting for both the front and rear, and dual electric couplers. Now let's go in for a closer look. Okay, now we're looking right at the front of the locomotive. Right up front here, we have our big S-scale electric coupler that can be fired from our LionChief remote or the app. Up front here on our pilot, there isn't a whole lot going on here. There are a couple molded in details that are kind of hard to see, but they're there, almost like a coupler cut bar. There's no safety tread or anything on our suicide steps down here. Right up front above our pilot is our handrail across the front. It's a stamped metal handrail, so it looks really big, but it's good and rugged for small hands, so that's always good. On our walkway, again, it's just a smooth deck. We don't have any safety tread. Same story here for on our steps on the side of the locomotive. We'll get into those a little bit later. Moving up, we have our wonderful Great Northern paint job. This paint job doesn't seem to be the best in the world. There are some oversprays on it if you look really close, but it doesn't look bad from afar, so just keep that in mind. Moving up, we have a bunch of molded in grab irons going up the side, and we have our illuminated number board with number 601, our headlight up here, and same story on the other side, just no grab irons. Okay, now we're looking down the side of the locomotive. Start right up front here. There's our steps on the front of the pilot. We have nice white stripes that go down the side of them to mark each step. Again, there's no safety tread or anything like I mentioned earlier. And again, we have these stamped metal handrails that go down the side of the locomotive. They kind of remind me of the stuff that was always used on the post-war locomotives, both American Flyer and Lionel. So it's just like that, again, very rigid and be kind of hard to break. Down the side, we have a nice looking paint job. The yellow seems kind of off here and there. It just may not be as thick in places, but it's not really that noticeable unless you're trying to find it. But it looks fairly nice. Right up here underneath the cab window, we have a nice crisp Great Northern logo. And we have some molded in details over here underneath the cab. Right there, kind of hard to see, is our little EMD placard on the locomotive. We have some nice looking side frames. Very basic molded in side frames for your American FlyerChief diesels. Die-cast metal fuel tank and air tank details there. Down the entire side, again, our key here is molded in, and everything still looks very nice being molded in. Down the side of the locomotive, we have a nice crisp 601 down here. It's kind of hard to see behind that handrail. And our Great Northern in our green looks, again, really nice. Now we're looking on the top of the locomotive, and right up front here we have some molded in details Not 100% sure what those are for, probably communication or GPS type deals. Here's where our paint imperfections are noticed. We have our nice pinstripe yellow here, but our green kind of oversprays into the orange. And again, if you don't look really close at it, it's hard to tell, but if if you're looking for it, it's there. We have our nice green top on our cab. Again, everything here looks really nice. We have a horn on each side of the cab on the front. Back here we have some radiator fans. Moving back more, we have our 2 exhaust stacks. Now this locomotive does not have a smoke unit, so probably not the best in interest to be pouring smoke fluid down here hoping smoke comes out, because if it does, it's not the smoke you want. Moving back, again, here's some more molded in radiator fans that look really nice. And again, back here on that yellow pinstripe line, it again is where we see a little bit of overspray, if that bothers anybody. Now we're looking on the rear of the locomotive. Right up here we have our big American Flyer electric coupler on the rear of the locomotive that can be fired from our LionChief Plus remote or our Bluetooth app. Again, the pilot is kind of the same story as the front. Almost the whole rear of the locomotive looks the exact same as the front. There's our grab irons. We have a LED backup light here. There's our 2 directional illuminated number boards. And again, like I said, it's very similar to the front of the locomotive. Now we're looking on the underside of the locomotive. Right up front here, this is our front truck. This is our geared truck with 4 traction tires, so 1 on each powered wheel. There are some open gears. It's kind of hard to see, but if any of those ever look dry, might be a good idea to put a little bit of grease on those. And again, just as anything else, I would always recommend put a little bit of oil where the axles go through the metal frame. On the power truck might be kind of hard to get to. And then there are these 2 little pickup rollers for the electrical power on both trucks. The smallest amount of oil on those might help with any possible squeaking in the future, just as an idea. Moving back, here's our fuel tank with our speaker for the sound system. Right behind that, we have our 2 control switches on the underside of the locomotive. The first one is RMT or train. RMT is remote or our LionChief app. If we flip this to train, we can run this with our AC transformer and our track. Don't need the remote or the app. And the one below that is our sound on-off switch. Further back here is our rear truck. No traction tires, it's just a dummy truck, so everything spins. Again, a little bit of oil where the axles go through the bearing would be a good idea, and our little pickup rollers. Okay, we got the train on the track. Let's go ahead and bring up track power. As soon as we do that, we can see that our headlights are flickering, cab light comes on, and we get that wonderful chirping sound. So go ahead and bring over our LionChief Plus remote, or FlyerChief. Go ahead and flip this on. And the sounds come on. Try out the horn. Very quick responding horn. The bell. And some of the crew talk.
Dispatcher here. Hold your position. Roger that. Let me know when we can go.
If we want to fire the front electric coupler, hold down Shift and our horn button fires our front. If we want to fire our rear, we hold down Shift and hit our bell button. That fires our rear. If we want to adjust our sound volume, we can hold down Shift and turn down our throttle. So now it's all the way down. I can hear a little bit of sound coming out of it, but that's not a whole lot. And after we let off Shift, it doesn't take off in reverse. We have to take this back to 0 before it will do anything. See, now it'll move. If we hold down Shift again and move our throttle back up, or back up to full volume, go back to neutral, and we're good to go. Alright, we got track power on, and we got the locomotive ready to roll out. I got sound turned down here for a second. If you want a full in-depth overview of the FlyerChief app to use with any of the American Flyer or the Lionel FlyerChief stuff, be sure to check out our app overview video that we've done. I'll leave a link down in the description, and be sure to check that out. Let's go ahead and turn up the volume and roll her on out. Alright, we took this engine for a spin around the layout. As you can see, it's a neat little engine. This locomotive has a really small one motor up on the front truck, so it can't pull a whole lot of cars, but with the train we had, it did pretty good with all the grades we have on this layout. So I think it's a decent little engine. This locomotive, MSRP is right at $250. If you go through any good Lionel dealer, you probably get a pretty decent discount on that retail price. I'll leave a link down in the description to Lionel's product page on this locomotive. That way you can see all the other features and the manual and any other information Lionel has on the locomotive. This concludes our review of the Lionel American Flyer Great Northern GP-7 number 601. Be sure to like us on Facebook for all of our open hours here in Wichita, Kansas, and all upcoming train shows. Also remember to hit that subscribe button here on YouTube, and also there's a little bell next to it. Hit that and you'll be sure to get all the notifications on new product reviews and running train videos. Thanks for watching.